Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So I'm back with another unboxing video, and this time it's the BlackBerry Dev Alpha B. Now I put this up in a poll on my community tab on YouTube. I said I was going to get a surprise device, and it was going to be one of three, either this one, the Classic, or a Porsche model, and surprisingly this was the least picked model that was on there, but here we are with the Dev Alpha B. Now, the Dev Alpha series were sent out whenever BlackBerry 10 first came out, before it came out, because what you ultimately got was the BlackBerry Z10, and these were the developer precursors to that. They were kind of like dumbed down prototype units that they could use to program and learn how to use the phone so they could convert apps over and all that good stuff. So there actually was a Dev Alpha, and the original Dev Alpha apparently was so popular they ran out of units and they had to do a second production, which is how you got the Dev Alpha B, which is slightly different. So Alpha, Alpha B. Now, before we get into this unboxing, I do want to say if this is your first time by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates on the latest videos. Now, let's go ahead and unbox this phone. All right, so here we are with the BlackBerry Dev Alpha B. Now, before I get too far into this, I do want to say I apologize for the audio inconsistency. I did pick up a brand new microphone, which I'm using now for the voiceover, so I wanted to say that in advance. But here we are, and it's funny with this phone because they never really was supposed to be a Dev Alpha B. They made the Dev Alpha, and it was about 5,000-6,000 units from what I was able to find online, and they actually ran out, so they had to do a second run, hence the Alpha B name. Now, taking the top off the box here, you can see this is our first look at the Dev Alpha B. It's never been touched by human hands since it was placed in this box. It's still got the plastic wrap on the screen and all that wholesome goodness, but you can see everything pretty much lines up with where it's supposed to be if it were a Z10, because of course this is the developer precursor. It even says not for sale on the side and property of research in motion on the back of the box, or sorry, the back of the phone. So it really is neat. I mean, it's got the same components and hardware, the same 4.2-inch screen with the 720p resolution. It has all of the same internals, same camera, same hardware. It's just inside this, cheap plastic housing. It feels really light and hollow compared to what eventually became the Z10. And you can see there on the back, property of research in motion limited. I think it's so cool. I can only imagine that, back in 2012, as a software developer or somebody programming for BlackBerry 10 operating system, that this had to be really, really cool and exciting because BlackBerry was still really big back then. I mean, of course, we're fans of it now, and many of us have been. I've been using a BlackBerry phone since 2005, so I wanted to get one of these a long time ago. The timing and the price was never right, but now I was so excited to be able to get this in a brand new in the box, which is crazy to me that in 2020 one still exists. So here's all the standard documentation that comes in here. We've got the micro USB cable here. It has the BlackBerry logo on it, which is cool. What's interesting about this box is that they didn't actually include a power brick. You have the micro USB cable here by itself, and then you have a complete whole charger here, which reminds me very much of the BlackBerry Playbook. It may be the same charger. It's been so long since I've seen one. I had a BlackBerry Playbook way back when, but you have this big charger with this huge charging cable, which is nice. So I can only imagine that they gave it to them as a charging cable and then another one that they can plug into the computer instead of just having to swap cables all the time, I guess. And of course, if you were a BlackBerry Z10 owner, you recognize this little guy, the LS1 battery. You probably had more than one of them because, the battery life on the Z10 was not terribly amazing. I mean, it was power efficient enough, but for a productivity device, that's one thing that BlackBerry was always known for, and people really appreciated for a long time, was being able to swap out the battery. So you could always be ready to go on the go. Battery pops right in. Still got the spot here for the SIM card and the SD card and all that good stuff. You can see the cameras there. And it really is just kind of a plastic brick with some internals on it. And put this cheap backpack on here again and flip it around. Let's see. Wow, it actually starts up, which is just amazing to me because this battery has been sealed up inside this box since 2012. Here we are 8 years later taking a look at this, just like it's the first time, but the battery still works. So that's really amazing. And I like this splash screen here as it's starting up. It reminds me of the Focus Entertainment, like when you see in the movies before the movie starts up. I really wish they would have actually used this for the startup screen as opposed to the BlackBerry logo. I think that's so much better. But here we go. Of course, the wonderful swipe gestures that we all love so much, which everyone on Android and iOS are appreciating now, and we've been using this for 8 years. But that's what the original logos looked like there, with the box around them. I mean, there were some changes, of course, over the time between the different versions of 10.3.1.2.3, all that good stuff. But here we are. It's running 10.0.9, so not even 10.1 or 10.1, whichever you want to call it. And yeah, it's just really cool to take a look at this. Now, here's some good shots so you can get a feel for what it looks like on the outside. Of course, like I said, the batteries and the components are all in the same spot. It's just this dumbed down, cheap housing because, of course, they didn't want to waste a bunch of money. And I'm sure the production model was not ready once they got into this and sending these out to people to start making apps and software for them. All right, so now that we've taken a look at the Dev Alpha B, let's see what it looks like next to the Z10. This is the consumer final production unit, which we all know and love. It came in several different models, the white, the black, the red. I had the white one and the black one. I never had the red one. But you can see here, looking next to the Dev Alpha B, of course, almost everything is identical in the same spot, but uniquely and interesting, you can see the translation from the developer unit to the final production unit, which is what we got out in the consumer world. The buttons, everything's all in the same place, but there are polished and refined touches to it. And then the phone was just really cool to use back then. I mean, I really loved my Z10. I was actually using a Galaxy S3 at the time when it came out, and I can remember going down to the store the day it came out and picking this up, and it's still the same model that I've had since then, and surprisingly, it's held up really well over all these years. So really cool being able to take a look at both of these phones side by side here in the year 2020. All right, so that's it for the Dev Alpha B. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I know it's not really the typical norm whenever it comes to ordinary BlackBerries, but I saw these floating around a long time ago, back when it was on Crackberry when they first came out, and I thought it was cool. A couple people had them on the resale market, and I was on eBay the other day looking for something else, and I happened to see this brand new in the box. So, however in the world, I still managed to get one of these brand new in the box, never used, in the year 2020, because this came out in 2012. I mean, it's no spring chicken. So, it's cool. I mean, I've got the Z10. I've had the P9982 in the past, so I've had every model of Z10. I even had the white one back in the day. So I wanted to go ahead and snag this, pick it up, show it off, and let y'all see this prototype developer unit that was ultimately what turned into the BlackBerry Z10 that we loved so much. Now, that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comments section. I'll get back with you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like I said in the beginning, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates on the latest videos. Thanks again. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you guys next time.